Winter's coming and the real estate market is going to be very different in the next 3 months than it is during the spring and the summertime. Hi, I'm Frank Huff with Minnesota First Realty, and this is your 2-minute market update, and I'm going to talk to you about the pros and cons of doing real estate transactions in the winter in Minnesota as opposed to spring and summertime. What happens with real estate in Minnesota in the wintertime is that we have a large slowdown in the number of overall transactions. Traditionally, home sales fall in Minnesota by about 2/3 during the winter time as opposed to spring and summer, but that doesn't mean that housing prices overall are going to fall. It doesn't necessarily mean that as a buyer you can get a great deal on a house. It just means that the number of closings goes down. And the sales go down in a twofold manner because you have less buyers shopping for homes during the winter time, but you also have less listings on the market for sale. Then after winter, around mid-March or early April, is what we call the spring flood. And we call it the spring flood because this is when everyone lists their home for sale and the market gets flooded with all these new listings. Now, the last few years, what happened during the spring flood is that this is the time of year when housing prices shoot up. And the prices shoot up because there's a ton of buyer demand in the springtime, but there weren't enough houses on the market relative to the amount of buyer demand. But this spring, in my opinion, is going to be a bit different. You're still going to have the influx of all these new listings in the spring, but now because of higher interest rates, buyer demand is lower than it has been in the past. So this spring, in my opinion, you are not going to see housing prices shoot up as we'd seen in the past years. You're going to see a balanced market of buyers and sellers with flat, stable home prices. Interest rates fell this month, and according to Freddie Mac, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate is now 6.67%. However, those interest rates and the origination fees can vary between lenders, so it is always a good idea to check with multiple lenders when you're shopping for a mortgage. If you have questions, reach out to me anytime. I hope you have a great Christmas and a great New Year's. I'm Frank Huff with Minnesota First Realty, and this has been your 2-minute market update for December.